welcome everyone to week 3 of the league. This is your commish speaking. And let's get right into it. Changed up the format of the video just a little bit. I say we do the standings before the power rankings because why not? So last week, we had a lot of surprises last week. A lot of the bottom teams won, a lot of the top teams lost. So we have a lot of just a big shakeup here. So in the West, the LFNS are 2-0. In the East, the Hickory Grove Heaters are 2-0. Those are the only undefeated teams. But we also got the Wise Guys and the Smeagol's, who are 0-2, who are normally perennial playoff teams, and they're 0-2. And then you got the Finesse and the Heaters, who are not to say that they're perennial bottom feeders, but they're normally not world beaters either, and they're 2-0. The rest of the league is 1-1. So, including the entire Central, which I think we all kind of knew that was going to happen. So this is setting up to be a crazy year, and I honestly don't really have an idea of who's going to be in the playoffs. Playoffs come December. So we will see. But right now, it's still anyone's race. But yeah. Let's get into the power rankings. Again, a little bit new format, just so you guys can kind of see and read along with me here. If you can see down at the bottom there, I obviously numbered 1 to 12, so I can also keep track, and so you can keep track as to where I place you in the power rankings. And no, E-Man, I did not really take your own power rankings in your prediction video into account, but let's get it started. Coming in at number 12. You got the Wisconsin Bunny Bangers. They just have not looked too hot. They did get a win last week, but I mean, this team they haven't shown me much. They have not started the right guys. Just this entire lineup has just been crazy. Last week they did pick up a win against, I think, Rico. And yeah, they're just not that team right now, but we'll see if they can get a win this week. We'll see. Coming in at number 11, moving up one spot, we got the SC Titans Elite out there in Santa Cruz. And again, Joe did pick up a win, a very close win, comeback, crazy win. And again, that's Joe. You never really know what's going to happen with his team. Sometimes they'll put up 90 and win. Sometimes they'll put up 50 and lose, or 140 and lose. You never really know what's going to happen with Joe's team. So for now, I've still got him down here near the bottom. Until he shows me more, I'm not going to move him back up. Coming in at number 10, moving down a spot, we got the Washington Wise Guys. Man, 0-2 start for Tebow's squad. It's not looking hot. I mean, they've had a little bit of bad luck, but at the same time, his team has just not put together a solid start from everybody. Last week, he did lose by 1 point to the Titans Elite, and that's just tough, But again, with Joe, it's almost like rolling the dice, and you see what's going to happen. So Tebow's off to a tough 0-2 start, and he's got an even tougher team this week in the Finesse, who are 2-0. So it's looking fairly grim right now for the Wise Guys, but if they can pull off the upset against the Finesse, but it's not really even that much of an upset considering the teams. It's just record-wise upset. This team can get back on track, and maybe we can see them in the playoffs. But for right now, they're at 10. Coming in at number 9, we got the Trentham Trolls, dropping down a few spots. They've had the least amount of points scored against them in the league, and they're still 1-1. They've put up middling numbers. So I got them down here at number 9. Not to say that they're the worst in the East. Obviously, the Bunny Bangers are. But again, that entire East, or I'm sorry, not East, Central they're all 1-1. So again, this 9 through about 6 is kind of all very, very even here. Coming in at number 8, we got the French Quarter Quailmen coming off a big win against the Trenton Trolls. And that was a big matchup, very close there at the end. Again, the Central is going to be just a bloodbath this year. They're all 1-1. So we'll see if anyone can kind of emerge from that grouping there in the middle. And again, speaking of the Central, coming in at number 7, we got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. All of those guys in the Central, they're all 1-1, having tough seasons. None of them have put up amazing numbers, and none of them have really been unlucky. So it's really just kind of middling, which is kind of nice that they're in the Central. Coming in at number 6, dropping way down, we got the Philadelphia Smeagol's, who is the unluckiest team in the league. They've had by far the most points scored against them, but that's not to say that they've put up amazing numbers. They only put up 108 last week against the Room Dogs, so they kind of deserve to lose with that one. They have kind of a tough test this week with the dumpster fire, but with Christian McCaffrey going out very early in the game, he could finally get his first win against a fairly good team, but we'll see. We'll see what happens later on today or tonight or wherever you are. Coming in at number 5, the formerly mentioned Columbia Dumpster Fire. I actually did have them a little bit higher up earlier, and then I remembered that CMC did go down. He's going to be out for a few weeks, which it's not a couple. So I'm going to say that's 3 weeks, maybe 4. I guess the only good news thing from that is that it happened on a Thursday. So he'll get an extra half a week to be ready for whenever he does come back. But CMC makes that team tick. And again, if CMC can't stay healthy, the dumpster fire, they might be moving right back down to from whence they came. But we'll see if his backups can do some work for him. But again, he already had 2 guys play for him this week, only got like 10 points. Yeah, 10 points on Thursday. So it's not looking too hot right now for the dumpster fire against the Smeagol's. But if he can magically pull off this win, I'll keep him here. But if he loses, and we'll see. We'll see what happens to the dumpster fire. It really all depends on what Coach Hunter can do with his bench mates. Coming in at number 4, dropping down a few spots, we got the Vietnam Voyagers. My team. I took a loss last week. A pretty bad loss, actually. Lost by 27 points. It didn't look like it was going to be that bad. Knew it was going to be close going into it, but Aaron Jones had a great game and just kind of blew away from me there at the end there against the Finesse. So coming in at number 4, the Voyagers. Coming in at number 3, moving way up the charts, we got the LA Finesse. They did take the win last week against the Voyagers. They put up 150 points and finally looked like a solid squad. The first week they had Joe, and the Titans, so we didn't really know what this team was. But now that they've beaten the Voyagers and put up 150 in the process, they're moving on up the boards here, and they're one of only 2 undefeated teams in the league. Coming in at number 2, the hottest team in the league right now, figuratively, literally, obviously, the Hickory Grove Heaters. They are just lights out right now. They put up 160 points in 2 straight weeks. And this team didn't look like it was going to do that. But Cooper Kupp is like the best receiver in the game right now, points-wise. Kyler Murray's playing out of his fucking mind. So, this team looks crazy, crazy dangerous. We're going to see if they can keep the hot streak going, pun intended. And coming in at number 1, I did take a little bit from E-Man's from E-Man's ranking, but with this team putting up a huge number, 152 last week, and with her main studs coming back to form, just coming back and saying, fuck that, we're not going to start out 0-2. The Long Island Room Dogs, they looked awful week 1, but then week 2 they came back and they showed why they won that championship last year. So that's my top 12 right now. If you're wondering about the colors of the team names, that just denotes what division they're in. All right. If it's, the Bunny Bangers, Trolls, Quailmen, and Sharks all have green because they're in the Central, right? The Smeagol's, Dumpster Fire Heaters, and Rune Dogs are all in the East, and you can see, and just kind of easier to see how the power rankings are divvied up between the divisions themselves. So right now, the East has all of their teams in the top 6. So the East is definitely the strongest division, as we all kind of thought it would be. But let's get into matchups. Matchup number 1. We got the Vietnam Voyagers flying all the way to Santa Clarita to play the SC Titans Elite. Sorry, Joe, I got you a new GIF. I hope you like it. The sword kind of fucking sucks, so I took that out. Both teams 1-1, coming off of close games. The SC Titans Elite got a close win last week, and the Voyagers got a beat down last week as well. So this is going to be an intriguing matchup. Right now, it looks like the Voyagers should win, just based on, say, what Sleeper says. But again, with Joe, you never know. Matchup number 2. We got the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks flying up to Dallas to play the Trenton Trolls. Rico said he wanted a new gift. There you go, Rico. I couldn't find a Tiger Shark, but I'll give you a left shark. I hope you like it. Both teams are 1-1. Obviously, all the teams in the Central are 1-1. This is gonna be a really close game, I think. It's really gonna come down to if Chris Godwin can wake up for the Tiger Sharks, and if the Cowboys can do something for the Trolls. As we know, he's a Cowboys fan, so got a lot of Cowboys on that team. And for whatever reason, he didn't start the best scoring one last week, so maybe he'll make that correction this week. Both teams are 1-1 and looking to try to get some distance here in the Central. Matchup number 3. We got the French Quarter Quailmen going up to Wisconsin to play the Bunny Bangers again. Both are 1-1. They're in the Central. The Bunny Bangers are, again, power rankings wise, worst team in the league, but Nate he's not a stranger to fantasy football. He knows most of the time what he's doing. And then Dan, who had a crazy draft and offseason. So this is a very interesting matchup, because I think whoever loses this game might be done, just based on how these teams are and their lineups and how they're set. It doesn't look good for the future to whoever loses this game, but I may be wrong. I digress. Matchup number 4. We got the LA Finesse at 2-0 flying up to play the Washington Wise Guys at a surprising 0-2. Again, the Wise Guys took a close loss last week. Finesse are 2-0. Pigs are flying. Shit's going crazy, right? If the Finesse can win this game, they will have a commanding lead in the West. If they lose, West gets a lot muddy again. It gets really, really crazy, especially depending on what happens in that Voyager Titans Elite matchup. This is a big game. Got two Gator boys going at it. We'll see what happens. On to the rivalry game of the week. I didn't really, there's not really many rivalries this week. Very just, handshake type of games this week. There's no really bad blood between any of these people. But my rivalry game of the week is the Philadelphia Smeagol's flying down to Columbia to play the Dumpster Fire, who are 1-1 again. They lost CMC. They've only put up 10 points. Smeagol's looking like they could finally get their first win of the season and bring both of these teams to 1-2 in the East, with the Heaters, who are 2-0, who could go 3-0. So this is a big matchup for both teams, really. If Columbia can somehow sneak out a win, it's devastating to the Smeagol's. But if the Smeagol's can get a win, which it looks like they should, then it's, we can start cooking again with the Smeagol's. We can start seeing some of that old fire that P-Man had a couple years ago that got him the belt. So we'll see what happens in this matchup. Rivalry game of the week, two Columbia boys. We'll see what happens. And of course, game of the week, we got the Hickory Grove Heaters at 2-0 flying up to Long Island to play the current reigning undisputed champs, the Room Dogs, at 1-1. And both teams put up over 150 points last week. The Heaters have put up 160 2 weeks in a row. We'll see if they can keep doing it. But this is a huge, huge game in the East. If Mandy can pull off the win, then the East is right again, I guess you would say. If the Heaters can get a win, and Matt, again, would take a 3-0 in the East is friggin' ridiculous, especially because all the first 3 games are in division. So this is huge for the Heaters. If they can get a win, we might as well punch Matt's ticket to the playoffs now, because that team is again, it's not really secret anymore, but that team is dangerous. And if they can pull off a win against the champs, then all hell is going to break loose, because we don't know what's going to happen. On to the predictions. E-Man's picks this week. Thank you, E-Man, for making these picks. Last week, Mandy went 1-5. She went 1-5, and the only game that she got correct was the Quailmen over the Trolls, which, if you remember from last week, that was the upset of the week. So that's how crazy last week was. All of the teams that kind of were supposed to win lost, and the one team that was supposed to lose won. So Mandy went 1-5. Now we're overall at 4-8, only 33%. Again, it says next week, Matt. I'm gonna start putting that up there, so just to remind you guys again, who's making the picks next week. E-Man in his video, voice crack in 15. He's got the Voyagers over the Titans Elite. He's got the Tiger Sharks over the Trolls. He's got the Quailmen over the Bunny Bangers. He's got his own Finesse over the Wise Guys. Bold pick. In the rivalry game of the week, he's got the Dumpster Fire over the Smeagol's, which is now looking like not a terrible pick. I mean, he didn't know when he made the video, but that is already looking probably like an L. But again, Smeagol's, Dumpster Fire, you never really know. Game of the week, Heaters, Room Dogs. We're all going to be tuning into that one, man. I can't wait for it. On to golf. Hole number 2, or week 2. Craziness. Absolute craziness. Matt shot 4 down week 1. Week 2, he said, I can do better than that. He shot 5 down. So now he's 9 under par through 2 fucking weeks. If you remember last season, I won golf after an entire season at 12 under par. And Matt's only 3 strokes away from that. So that's kind of how crazy Matt's run has been the last 2 weeks. And he's 6 strokes ahead of second place, which is P-Man and E-Man. The man's sitting at 3 under par. I'm sitting at 1 under par. And then we got a 3-way tie for 5th. Tebow, Joe, and Rico all sitting at even par. Hunter sitting by his lonesome in 8th at 1 over par. Dan and Mandy snugging up together at 2 over par. And then we got Graydon and Nate coming in at 3 over par. Graydon had a terrible day last week. What did he go? He went 3 over par last week. He was even going into last week, and now he shot 3 over. Matt shot 5 under. Hunter shot 3 over. The rest, everyone else, E-Man did shoot 2 under, which was kind of nice. Everyone else had a middling performance. Yeah. And that's basically it, guys. I tried to kind of make this one quick, but of course we're running on 20 minutes now, so it's not that quick. But I hope you guys have a good week. Good luck.